Okay, guys, this won't be long. So I titled this "Learning Important Lessons," based on the recent this thing going on about Cynthia G and Robert Perkins. Okay, so I'm not here. I said learning important lessons because I had to learn an important lesson over this past fall into January and still learning. It was pretty rough for me, and so I'm not here to put down anybody for being pregnant. You know, one thing I don't do is judge somebody for being pregnant, but here's what I have to say about the important lesson I think Cynthia G is going to learn in all of this. It's the messages that she kind of preached on her platform, but as far as attacking other black women, um, she kind of made a career out of attacking other black women who chose to date differently than she would have chosen to date differently, very viciously, and celebrated the deaths of black women who dated white men. So I'm not here to attack her pregnancy because I don't get into judging somebody for being pregnant. I don't get into judging somebody for being homeless. See, I don't get into them as whatever consequences they made. But what I will say is that the same way we all have to learn lessons. I had to learn a very valuable lesson in financial management and organization this past fall, and it was not an easy one. So a lot of people were asking me about videos. A lot of people were doing lives this past no, December, January, and I just could not do as much because I was going through. Some people might want to call it the Saturn return. Um, I was dealing with my shadow. So right now, Cynthia G might be facing her shadows. Okay, now if somebody don't understand this and take this as a judgment, then they probably don't need to hear this message. Cynthia G is probably having to deal with her shadows. Um, um, and of course we always knew that the black people are going to be harder on her. Black people have historically always held black women responsible. I mean, for the last decade or more, black women were blamed for everything that's wrong with black men and the black community. So it's no surprise that everybody's going in on Cynthia G. Just like everybody went in on Crystal and Kerrison, just like everybody attacked Sansa Ray, that's no surprise right there. The black community, I said that I said before when they attacked what you call it, McClure, Omi McClure. I just said that they're brutal, they're brute beasts, and I unfortunately I can't take that back. When you behave a certain way, that's just what you're going to get called. Okay, so they're brutal and they hate. I said, but I don't know if I actually uploaded when I said this. The black community tells you not to date outside your race because they don't want so-called genocide, but then they hate pregnant black women. I see this all the time. Every time a black woman gets pregnant, the black community goes in and they dog out that black woman for getting pregnant. So they can care less. I think they just I think the black community, and I know I'm calling it the black community for verbiage, but I know it's not a community. But they thrive on negativity. It doesn't matter if you date outside your race, because if you date inside your race and get pregnant by your husband, look how they did Sierra. She got pregnant by her husband and she was still a hoe. Okay? So I'm not, the black community getting on Cynthia G is because she's a black woman, and the black people hate black women. Black women hate black women. And they tell you not to date outside your race because they can't stand all this mixed racing and genocide. But then as soon as a black woman get pregnant, whether she a single mother or not, or even if she's married, black people hate it. Like, they literally tear black women down who get pregnant. But let me get back on Cynthia G. Some people want to give her a pass. Some people don't. I'm not in the position to give anybody anything. That's my position. I don't have the authority to give anybody anything. Okay? A lot of us need to work on forgiving ourselves and giving ourselves passes before we really focus on what other people get. Okay? I don't have the authority to not give her a pass or give her a pass. I don't. I don't, like I said, I don't judge people who just get pregnant. Okay, I know a lot of women who've gotten pregnant by some guys who ain't nothing. And some black women have got pregnant by non-black men who ain't nothing, but not as much as they have by black men, because majority of black women prefer black men. That's just the bottom line. But so I don't get into all that criticizing just because somebody get pregnant by a no good man. Um, but what I will say is, maybe if she does decide to come back on YouTube, maybe her message towards black women and the way she is towards other fellow black women who choose not to be with a black man, maybe that'll change. Okay, and it has nothing to do with pregnancy, because a black woman can be with a white man that'll leave her. Look at what happened to Ami McClure. She got married twice. The first husband was horrible to her, and he was very abusive. So this is not about saying that had she been with a white dude, it might have been different. It might not have been different. If you draw in if you draw in that kind of man, you know, I've seen black women go from a no good black man that she had to build up to going to a white man that she had to build up. So sometimes if you have it on you just to choose those kind of men, it don't matter what color he is. So this ain't about being with no black man or white man if you really don't really choose well when it comes to mating, period. I've seen women leave outside of their race and it's still the same thing. I've seen it happen. Okay, so this is not about judging her pregnancy. I don't do that. But I do hope. I think I always knew ever since last year, I said something is going to happen to Cynthia G that's going to change up her message in a way that she supports black women more. Okay, I think this right here is going to cause her to support black women more and not be so concerned about what's happening to black men. I had a dream about Cynthia G. Sometimes people call her a hypocrite when she want to always support these black men, but I had a dream that she actually do really care about helping black men. But this was last year, and I think she started to get tired of black men, between that time, because, right now I think she just about over it. But I had a dream that she was like going through all this and running all these errands and going crazy with it like a chicken with his head cut off for black men. So it was a time she really did jump through hula hoops for them. And so I'm saying that the same way I learned my lesson and everybody else learned their lessons, whether they get sick, mine, I had to learn financial responsibility and organization. And I think this right here just might cause her to be more supportive of black women, okay? Regardless of what kind of man they date, and not call them bed wench and all other kind of just degrading names because they chose a non-black man, or just black women, period. The black women that are on Ratchet. She made videos about them and how they ruin the black community. Now I don't support everything that people do, but what I do is I protect myself, because I can not judge somebody. But one thing I won't do is put myself in situations that put me in harm's way, because even though you might not want to judge certain people, like say real ratchet women and ghetto women that fight, even though you might not want to judge them, at the same time, I try to stay out their way too, because you don't want to be caught in anything. So I want to be smart at the same time. But what I'm saying is hopefully to be just more supportive. I think that Cynthia G, I really feel like this, that she is going to not be as harsh on black women. Okay, so that's it. I'll just be repeating myself because I don't have much to say. I'm not going to talk about pregnancy. I'm not going to talk about her getting pregnant by Robert Perkins. She started, and I want to say this last thing. She started her Must Be the Judgment of God and the swirling gone wrong. She started that, I think, because of Robert Perkins. When that guy, Savante Clark, or whatever his name is, Stephen Clark, when he was killed by the police and he made all these little nasty comments about black women, when she got online and said that she will not be supporting Stephen Clark, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm not mistaken, it was Robert Perkins who sent her this information on this Nigerian woman who got killed by her white husband, and he killed the child too. And that's when she started off this judgment of God stuff. When Robert Perkins is the one, if I'm not mistaken, I think she's the one that said it. Robert Perkins sent her over the video of that Nigerian woman who got killed, and I think she was wearing blonde hair. And her and another YouTuber was going in on the lady's weaves and stuff. And she started that Swirling Gone Wrong series. And it must be the Judgment of God series every time a black woman was killed by a white man, okay, or a non-black man. And so I think that all of those audios was motivated to massage the egos of a lot of black men. But then she eventually went back to critiquing black men again, you know, and talking about things that they keep doing wrong in the within the collective. Okay. So anyway, I say that to say I don't think she's going to be trying to go throw black women under the bus to massage the egos of black men to get their support anymore, because right now, what black men are speaking up for her right now? What black men are speaking up for her right now? Okay, so I think this could be a good thing. I know people want to go in and talk negative about her, but I think this may be a positive thing. This might come out to be a positive thing. If she decides to get back on her platform, I think her messages are going to change. I don't think she's going to be harsh on black women like she used to when it comes to their dating and mating choices. And I don't think she's just going to be using bed winch and all this stuff anymore. I think she's really going to support black women in the decisions they make at this point, and be more and empathize a little bit more. Okay, so this could be a good thing. Some things look bad, but it's for the good. Okay.